I'm so Sherry Lee.
I'm So Sherry Lee. Make sure you check out I'm So Sherry Lee. So again, this is Stay to the Point Radio on WFBS 98.1. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now we have a special guest in the building. All right, I'm about to unmute her ass real quick. Okay, because I had to mute her because she was over here driving and texting at the same time on the phone. Please don't get in. I'm trying to get in trouble real quick. But she is back. This is Amazin. Amazin is a absolutely really dope artist. She's R&B. She does hip hop and she do her artiste work. She be painting herself and shit. She be getting into an artist like mind. She be zoning out. I feel like she be up on top of mountains doing yoga and shit and be getting into.
Nice.
Yeah, she's that's her type of vibe. Like she's be zoning. Like she reminds me of Different World. You remember my girl from Different World
Freddie.
huh?
Yeah.
Freddie.
Yes. Yes. Yes, absolutely. So she's very like she thinks out the box. So it's really dope. Amazing. Welcome to Stay to the Point Radio, Ma. How you doing?
Thank you guys for having me.
For sure, for sure. How you doing today?
Thank you for being here.
Excellent, excellent. It's
Word.
a indeed pleasure to be able to gather here with you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. It's my first time, so thank you everybody for bearing with me.
Word, word. Well,
It's
uh,
okay. We was late. I was. I'm sorry.
yeah, yeah. See, Sherry always like she likes to make a red carpet entrance. So let me
Yeah.
pop up. Let me wake up pretty and shit, and let me get my shit together and start recording. This is nothing to me. Me, I gotta prepare myself. Like I gotta get my joint. I gotta, because nobody want to look at me. Like
I
I'm just,
answered the phone. I was like, hello. Like I just woke up. I
yeah.
overslept. I was like, dang. I overslept. I'm
She
Yeah.
woke
sorry.
up like that. Yes, honey.
Like this shit is nothing to her and shit. But anyways, yo, amazing. So what's going on, man? I know you just got a out. Wait, you got a single coming out, which by the way, single that came out, Lovey Dovey, which I am about to play at this end of this show. You've been doing a lot of different events. I know you just did an audition for Big Time with John. What's my girl Blaze? What's her?
Johnny Blaze.
Yes. So, how's that process going? When is the show first and foremost? When can we check you out on the next show? What's going on? Period.
Well, it's through nexttorise.com. And basically, they do a lot of promoting for up north, New York, Jersey,
Okay, she froze.
I believe,
Okay.
to coast that was going on, where basically they're bringing in different artists and giving them a platform. So the showcase is in Atlanta, September the 7th. It's going to be at Rockin' Taco and Buckhead. So we definitely, it's called the Bad Woman Showcase, but I'm the only
I'm
female
so
that's on.
mad. I will be out of town. I don't live very far from Atlanta. Otherwise, I would come. Because I used to live in Atlanta for 10 years. And I originally, when I first moved there, I was in Buckhead. So I know what you're talking about. But I'll be at, like in Florida, I'll be in West Palm Beach on the 7th. And I'm like, oh, I
Mm,
wish, because I would totally go. I would so
yes.
go.
But that lets me know for when we come down there, it's always opportunities for us
Yeah,
to
like
be
if
able
you're
to.
ever in Charlotte or Atlanta, like let me know because I'll come. I'm close to both.
Yes,
Or
I love that.
Columbia
Thank you,
too.
Sherry. Hey,
So let me know.
All
I
right.
would
that's
definitely come.
So that's what's up. So all right, you got that September. You said September 8th,
Seventh.
7th.
7th.
The 7th.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bet. So September
Saturday.
7th. So you I know you auditioned and you got through. Now you locked down with that. Now what else is going on? Like I know you said your single is out, which like I said I'm about to play at the end of the show. Now what's the plan of the album? When is the album coming out? What project are you working on right now at this moment?
Currently, I'm working on Bare Truth. So, Bare Truth is a compilation of events from youth all the way up to adulthood now. And it's going to basically correspond with a book that I'm writing. It's called Love Worth Waiting For. And it's basically this because I've gone through abuse from the age of 4. That's when my abuse started. And to be honest, I didn't understand how to love myself and understand what don't settle actually means until my late 20s, early 30s. So now I'm going on 35, and like my mindset is like, no BS is allowed at all. I do not have to accept it. You do not have permission. And that is exactly what my goal is now, to teach everybody I come in contact with. You do not have to settle. And even though you have not been explained what that means, let me walk you through this journey together. Let's do this. So that's what
Nice.
their
That's,
truth is going to be.
it's crazy. I've been working on a book for the past, would say, maybe 2 years, and then I kind of like earlier this late last year and this year I've done really not worked on it too much. I kind of just let it go. But it's literally pretty much about the same thing. I went through a divorce a couple of years ago and whatever. And like I'm on the other side of 35 now.
Yes, yes,
And I'm
honey.
just like, I was like, I have a whole lot to write about after being married for so long and everything. And it's called Such a Time as This. And it's very similar to what you're talking
Wow.
about. So it's crazy. It's
We need
crazy.
go ahead and
We
finish that
do.
book
We need to hook up or something, and definitely, like, put our heads together for something, maybe. That'd be good.
immediately.
But your book sounds amazing. So definitely let us know when that's done.
Definitely. You too. Definitely. Look, we
That's
can
what's
maybe
up.
come up and have a book club
Yeah,
once a
that would be
week.
good. Yeah, that would be nice. Where are you located?
I'm in Portsmouth, Virginia.
Okay, you're in Virginia. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Absolutely.
That's
This
what's
is
up.
phenomenal. Look at
That's what's
that.
up. And
What
y'all
do
Yeah.
you
talking
have
about,
going on, Saya?
huh?
What do you have coming up?
Oh, well, besides just continue to better this podcast, I got some stuff coming up, but I can't say
I got you.
because like I just don't want people to catch ideas and try to take, because that's one thing these people are really good on.
Yeah, people are good on that.
So, but I got some stuff working on. Let's just say some stuff that you could put on. So we working on that. Besides that, just really working. I'm trying to better my career in as electrician.
Hmm.
I'm about to go into my second year as an apprentice.
Nice.
So I'm doing overnights and making great money, man, and learning from these journeymen and these apprentices left and right, just teaching me the basics and getting into calculations and bends and all types of different things. And besides that, being the best father and husband I could be. So
Right.
so
This is
but
dope.
yes, I'm just glad. I known Amazing for what, 6 years now, 5 or 6 years.
To be honest, we going
Yeah,
on 7 years
damn.
now.
So
Like, you guys, y'all knew me since before I had chemo and cancer. And I'm going on my 7th year now of remission. So we really looking at like 9 years.
man, yo, I
Wow,
can't
you have
believe
a
it.
story. I can't wait
Yes,
to read your book.
yes,
Thank you.
fam, fam,
I
it's
tell you, God
amazing.
be the glory. Like, to be honest, that's why I feel like every day we're supposed to cherish it. And sometimes we got to go through the hard stuff to realize what is important to us. Like,
Hmm.
we waste too much time on stuff that's irrelevant. So
Right.
it's a beautiful thing to feel like we're
That's
walking in
true.
fruition.
And the best part, it brings us closer to God. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta go through your hurdles, your mountains, practically your last breath till you
Yeah.
realize like how important he is to your life first. Like people get it twisted. They take it for granted of, You gotta actually talk to them. Like, people might look at it as funny or whatever the case is, but whatever decision, it could be like freaking getting milk or juice. Man, Lord, please, which one should I pick? Like, it's just sometimes you gotta get into those conversations, man. Like, really, really, like, you on your last $3. All right, it's gonna be between milk and juice. Which one is gonna be more healthier to where it can hold you up for your next week before your next paycheck? Like, those things are very, it's important, man. It's truly important. So I'm glad you here, Amazin. Me,
Okay.
Sherry don't like the question, right? But we're gonna get into it anyways. We got the man cave
It's
question of the week.
so Flintstone. It is so Flintstone.
And
Oh my
and
gosh.
coincidentally, it's called Man Cave. Flintstone Man Cave.
Gosh, it's so
Unintended.
Flintstone.
It works out. If you want to get the car with the bottom open, do the little and Flintstone. We go Flintstone all day, baby. Now let me stop. Anywho. All right. There was an old video that came out. It was a viral. It went viral, and I had this question in the stash, and I think Amazing. I told you about it already, but it was like 2 weeks ago that this video came out, and it was a guy. He had a question for everybody. When did this become? And when this has become is the 50-50 ordeal. When did a woman and a man had to now take care of the household where they had to go and be providers for the household? What happened to the man being the provider and the woman holding down the fort? What happened to where a woman is just take care of the kids, do those things, and then still able to do what they want to do, okay? Still able to do what they want to do, but let the man provide for the household, the finances. Don't even worry about the bills, baby. I got you. Type of man. Just run it. Because in the old-fashioned days, okay, you want to call it that, Flintstone days, around the 70s and 80s, the man always was the provider. You never seen dad. You always seen mom, because dad always held down the fort. Now, when did it turn to a 50-50 ordeal when the man has to, like, telling, look, I need you to go out there and, work as well. Like, I need that help. Like, what happened to the man now just getting the better job, getting the better education to be able to go out there and provide for his family, or at least work for it. At least work for it. If you're not there yet, at least work for it to where your woman is able to be at ease, where she doesn't have to go out there and work hard and bust her ass and still come back home to have to cook or clean or whatever the case is. Okay? Yeah. What happened to that? What happened to that man? And you notice how passionate I am about this because I'm with him on that aspect. What happened to that man trying to better his life? Not saying that the woman needs to stay her ass at home. Not at all. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying in the sense of just being able to take care of the finances, just being able to hold a household where now we are free, where it frees that pressure or that stress on a woman's mind of able to have to go out there and provide the finances. She is now able to just raise the kids, okay, able to do the motherly things, but also able to get into school if she wants to, go and provide, go into a career move if she wants to, and the man could do as well the same thing if he's able to provide and do his thing on the side. It's sacrifices. That's what we call it. We call it sacrifices. So now, Amazing. I'm gonna ask you, because you are the middle ground of this, because we understand already what Sherry thinks about it.
Like,
what
my
do
leg
you
is
feel?
shaking.
I know your
My
leg
leg
is shaking. I could see it from
Oh
your
my
chin
gosh.
because you're doing this.
My leg is shaking.
Go ahead.
Oh, I
Amazing.
hate this
Please, by
question.
all means,
This
tell me
is
what
the
you feel.
thing. I feel like a lot of the change had to come because we're going way back to slavery time. We're going back to the part where the men were separated from the women. They were torn out of their homes. They were tied to the horses. They were literally disembodied in front of them in order to make the women be in fear. And in return, the women teach the children to fear the white man, to fear the master, as they would call it. Now, The thing now is having to change that mindset. And after we have taken so much tradition, because now it's almost like slavery is not just a mindset, it became a tradition. It became a tradition to the white people to have slaves. It came tradition for black people to say, oh no, it's by any means necessary. We fit to make this happen. So this is now a point where the men don't necessarily always want to work because they see that the women are a lot more headstrong. So they're now kind of a little more lenient and saying, well, I guess I could kind of just chill then since you have it under control. But then you have some women that just refuse to actually want to be in the house. And their man actually understands, like, okay, baby, you're not just a grounded in the house type of person, and you
I
don't want to
agree.
deal with kids
I
all
agree.
day, every day.
I agree. Okay, let
But
me let me respond to that before I let Sherry take, because if she takes it, it's a wrap. Nobody's getting no hands on it. But anyway, look, what I'm saying is, I just said that it's able to now be free and optional to what's going on. And all right, the man is being out of the house. I did say that the man is being away from their family a lot of the times, but
yeah,
also it's in a sense where still sacrifices are being made. That's why you better your situation, where now when you better your situation, you are able to take more vacation time. You are able to stay at home a little bit more because your stages are going up. You able
mm,
to now become ownership, become owner of your situation, where you don't have to be at the job site 24/7 because you own it. You are
yeah,
now hiring and delegated to other people in your employees to take care of it while the income is coming. Again, growth.
yeah,
Finances, you just said it yourself. Men are able to say, you know what, this woman is very headstrong. Let me sit back, chill. This is, as a man, we are very simple. As soon as we chill, we get used to it. We kick habits. That
mm-hmm,
habit gets kicked. Like, there's no more hunger. There's no more thirst to be great. So what happens is, now that man becomes a couch potato.
yeah,
He's been,
yeah,
and to stroke a man's ego is to get him to go out there and do what he has to do to provide, because he knows he's doing it for a purpose, and he has something to be motivated about. But as soon
yeah,
as you got these punk ass dudes that just wants to sit back and say, man, my girl got it. Oh, she makes more money than me. Oh, that's fine. Oh, she does it. Oh, that's great. Oh, she's paying this, that, and the third. I remember being unemployed for 8 months. Okay, got laid off from my job with my first child just being born. Okay, my
uh-huh,
wife was working and she was busting her ass,
yeah,
for the family. It was tough as hell for me to see her go through what she went through. F me. The fact that she was going out there busting her butt and I'm over here, yes, cool. I was being the dad. I was being a full-time dad, and I was blessed to have that. Now my daughter is so damn, my oldest is so attached to me because of that. Because I was there 24/7, that she still shows it to this day. Okay, and that's a blessing. But at the same time, as a man, I was taught you have to be the provider at any cost. You have to be out there. Everybody eats, you eat last. Even though a woman, a true old fashioned woman, would come up and feed her man first before she feed the kids, because that's just the old fashioned way of doing it. I'd rather eat last. Because it's just the fact that this food that's going around, I know I helped do that. So it's a mind thing. It's truly a mind thing. But since I responded to you on that, okay, we're gonna go to Sherry here. And Sherry, what do you feel about this 50-50 conversation, and where, if it went wrong, or is it the right way, or is it the right direction that we going? Or we already win for a very long time. For a very, very long time. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
I really, really, really think that it is based on per situation. I think when you, our economy is not the same that it was back during Flintstone times, or even, let's just say 50 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Marriages are not the same. The perspective on marriage is not the same. Matter of fact, I think that was a question we were supposed to be talking about last week. That never happened. But there's a lot of different aspects of the situation for it to be 50-50, or for, like, in your mind where you say a woman, just like, I don't understand, like, when I was listening to you and I was trying to figure out how a woman, an ambitious woman, could possibly be a stay-at-home mother and really still be able to pursue the life that she wants. Because in my opinion, and I know this because I lived it, and I tried to still be ambitious while being a stay at home mother and being a wife, and it was nearly impossible. It's nearly impossible because all you end up doing is supporting somebody else's career moves, making dinner, making sure, because by the time you done cook dinner, have everybody done, by the time you done took people to football practice and cheerleading and all that stuff, you don't have time for yourself. There gets to a point where you barely have time to wash your ass, and I'm dead serious. Because then a man thinks that because he goes to work for 8 hours a day, that for whatever reason he can come home, kick his shoes off, and just chill. But then I'm supposed to be up same time as you, work all day or whatever, then cook dinner, clean up, do all that, and still not be in bed till after you, just to do that all over again. It's tiring. And I don't think that that's fair from that perspective. And again, that's not everybody's situation. So I don't think that a full-time mother, full-time wife, I don't think that a lot of times when you don't have help, if you're not by family, or if you don't have a mother that's there to help you, because being a full-time mom is probably the hardest thing that I had ever had to do, ever in my entire life.
Yeah.
So I just, like, I can speak on it because I lived it, and I was not able to do the things that Sherry wanted to do because I was too busy thinking about everybody else every hour of the day that I was not asleep. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? When you get to go out in the world and go to work, even though whether or not you're working for someone else or whatever the case, you are out there and you're interacting with other people. You
Yeah.
get to be, it's so hard when your only company is a
It
2-year old.
is. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
that's a hard life for an adult. And then
Yeah.
when you have that added factor of the, if you're in a marriage where, and you're married, every marriage goes through it, where you have, issues where you're not really being with each other, you're not spending a whole lot of time with each other. So even that time that she needs to get from her husband, he don't want to give it to her because he's tired. He's been at work all day. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Even though she's tired too, but she wants that attention because she
Yeah.
wasn't getting it from any other adult all day long.
Yeah, take a
Right.
pill.
And I say this too, but daycare is overpriced. So then you
Mhm.
have to, and I know because I know people who are dealing with this right now. I had to go through it, and I know someone who's going through it right now, where you have to literally sit there and make the choice, because it almost defeats the purpose to go to work, because by the time you send your 3 kids to daycare, that ate
Mm.
up your entire monthly income. So
Come
it don't even
on.
make sense for you to work. Like I said,
Mhm.
our economy has just changed in a way that makes it like that. And then, I mean, we could totally different scenarios. Like you were saying, there's men out there who don't want to work like that. These men, and it starts from being raised by women, because I know grown men that's in their 30s and 40s, and their mama's still handling them like they walking around in
Talk about it.
diapers.
Talk
I'm
about
I'm
it.
just saying, it depends on the
Mhm.
situation,
It's
because when you
real.
talk about why men are not the way that they are, everybody wants to say it's because fathers are not in the house. No, it's not, because I know plenty of men that had their fathers in the house, but they mommy coddles them. Women have to stop coddling these boys. When I tell you I don't have no sons, but when I see people that have boys, you got to stop raising your sons to be your husband. That's not your husband. You got a husband. If you don't, go get one. But you
Ooh,
need to be
preach.
raising your sons to be
Ooh,
somebody else's husband. And the problem is that women ain't raising their sons to be somebody else's husband. And then when
come
they do
on.
get a girlfriend or a wife or whoever, then you want to sit up there and make excuses for the dumb stuff that he's doing, when all in
Come
all,
on.
He's only thing he need to be doing is stepping up and being a man. He decided to lay down with me and have these kids. So this is not
Yeah.
up to you. And I don't care what you think about me. He needs to be a
Hello.
man at the end of the day. And that's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. So, and I had heard this old lady talk about this, and I agreed with her 110%. It's not because people say, "Oh, men, not," because a lot of single moms like to do this and be like, "Well, he's not here, and his daddy left, and this and that and whatever." I'm here to tell you that a woman is probably one of the most powerful creatures on this earth because we have the power to destroy or we have the power to lift when it comes to
Mhm.
a man. And a woman has to learn how to be a neck, not the head, but has to
Yeah.
remember that the neck turns the head. You understand?
Come
And
on.
I've
Come
seen like a
on.
woman can make a man into anything she wants him to be if
Come
she does
on.
it the right way. and
Yeah.
and and that's what bothers me with women when it comes to their sons. It bothers me with women when it comes to their husbands. You destroy your household. A woman can destroy her entire household with her mouth. It's
Come
just
on.
crazy. And I'm a woman, but I'm here to let you know that we have the power to change this scenario when it comes to men being fathers and men being husbands. Because people always say a man. Well, no, because I done seen plenty of men grow up in the house with their daddy and still end up being an F boy, okay? It don't
That's
have
the
nothing to
thing.
do with that. It has nothing to do with that. But when you have a mom that wants to coddle you and you almost 40 years old and your mom wants to tell you what to do, that's a
Yeah.
problem. When you can't
Yeah.
make a decision without your mom, that's a problem. That's a
That's so
problem.
good
So
that
how,
you
because
even
two
said
women
that.
cannot run one household. Two
Yeah.
women cannot run one household. That's not a realistic scenario. So that's one thing. So it just depends on the situation. Every situation is different, but I don't think that it is realistic to ask a woman to give up her ambitions so that you can feel like a man. I think it's absolutely, and I wrote a blog, it's on my blog. I wrote a blog about this, and that's why I'm so passionate about it because I wrote about this before. And a woman can absolutely go out into the world and do whatever it is that she wants to do. We have the same capabilities and functionalities as a man when it comes to being able to go out there and do something with your life. We have the same desires and the same passions that are innate in us, and we are born with those desires. It's not something that we just, grew up and was like, you know what? Like, we don't want to be men. I want to be a woman in my own right and be able to go out there and do the things that I was born and I desire to do. Believe it or
Come
not, we
on.
desire to be more than somebody's mama or somebody's wife. And so if
Preach.
I go out into the world, you know what I'm saying? I don't just want to be a mother
Yeah.
because my children are going to grow up one day, and then what am I left with?
Come
When
on.
my kids are grown and gone, what am I left with? I still have plenty of life left when that happens. I mean, I'm 36 years old, Ariel, and my oldest daughter's in high school. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? I
You
mean,
old. I know.
literally.
I'm
So
just
I,
talking.
I I mean, I just like when I think about that, and it takes so long to build a life, and because I decided to dedicate early years, my younger years, to a man and to my children, I'm really now only in the past couple of years actually living for Sherri. And because
Come
I was
on.
living for somebody else for so long, you know how long it took me to really break out of that shell and really be like, you know what, I can write that book that I always wanted to write. I can have this blog. I can do this. I can do it. It took me a long time to get out of that block because I was told that I was supposed to be a wife, and I was told that I was supposed to be a mom, and I was told that I was supposed to be bringing snacks to football games, and that was my life.
Come
Well, I
on.
wanted more than that.
Yep.
And most women do.
Right.
Yeah.
Most women, that once you get to know who you are, we want more than that. So if for me to be who I want to be, and I gotta be with a man that wants me to pay 50% of the bills, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with
Yeah.
that because I get to be who I want to be. But the other problem is too, sometimes when you have two working people in your household, people live out their means. I'm a true believer that we should be living based off of the one income because anything could happen.
Yes.
Anything could happen. Not to say that you need to be putting all your money on bills, because I don't believe that. I don't believe that a man should go to work every day and have no money. I
Right.
don't believe that.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
I don't believe. I don't believe that for anybody. I don't believe that for women, and I don't believe that for men. I believe that if you're not with somebody that wants you to be the best version of yourself, then you're with the wrong person.
Come
Okay.
on.
That's what I believe. I don't believe that we live in a world anymore where it's just fit for a woman to just be home, because I've also seen situations where a woman has done that. Again, myself, I'll use myself as an example, where then you end up moving on and you don't have nothing because everything's in
Right.
his name, or and then because all men ain't you, because men can be spiteful when they mad, they can be nasty. Women too. Women
Yeah.
too. I don't feel like anybody. My dad used to always say to have mad money, because when
Mm-hmm.
people get mad, they get nasty. When people go
Mm.
through divorces, they get nasty. They try to take things from you, things that
Mm.
wasn't even theirs to take from you, because they
Wow.
felt like they could. And I told myself, and maybe I'm bitter. Try to tell myself I'm not bitter, but at the end of the day, I would never, ever, ever let another person have that kind of power over me to leave me with nothing.
Come
So
on.
yeah,
Come
I
on.
don't believe that a woman should just be somebody's wife. That's
Okay.
not. I'm more
Okay.
than that.
Okay.
So I'll leave it at that. I mean, I can go a whole lot deeper, but to my point about my blog, I wrote a blog that a woman can go out there and be everything that she wants to be in the world. But because men are who they are and women who they are, women have to learn that when they cross the threshold of their house, that they have to take that off and then become a woman and allow a man to be a man. And
Come
just because
on.
a woman works, you can't be throwing that in no man's face that you work and
Mm-hmm.
that you pay half the bills. Like I said, when you're with the person that you're supposed to be with, none of that should even be an issue. It
Shouldn't be
really
matter.
shouldn't.
Exactly.
Shouldn't matter.
Exactly.
But all right. All right. Well,
I know
amazing.
I said a lot. I'm sorry.
No, you
No,
good.
that's
No, you
good.
passionate. That's exactly what I wanted. Sure, I was smirking the whole time, like, yeah, pressed it. I pressed it. I pressed it.
My buttons. I'm pressing
Yes,
my buttons.
yes. I know the buttons to push. So amazing. Your thoughts. With that being said, do you agree? What can you I guess
Well,
respond on?
I have four boys. So, and that's one of the big things. Like Sis was saying, I'm not here to try to raise men or teach them how to be men. I could teach them how to be the type of man that I would have preferred, as far as character wise, teaching them just the basic, how to balance your checkbook, how to make sure you have enough in your account to take care of the leisure stuff that you want, as well as making sure your bills and stuff are taken care of first. Your priorities are done first. Um, I definitely teach them that you can be a man that is strong enough to be able to explain how he feels, to be able to express his emotions, but not to wear his emotions as his daily fate. Like they should be able to have a place where they feel safe to be able to break down or discuss or whatever the case may be. And then it is sometimes where, to be honest, even teaching them what to look for when they're looking at young ladies. They're ready to court and have girlfriends and stuff like that. So, and my oldest, he's 22 now, and he has a child. And so now I'm a nana. And at this
Mm,
point, my thing was teaching him even before he left the house. And I had to sit down and have this conversation with him and his girlfriend. Don't leave the house before you have experienced or understood everything that I've been trying to teach you. Because once you go out there, it's an entire different experience. Now, he was 20 when he left the house. My thing is, I want you to be out there on your own. I want you to be able to be stable enough. However, I don't want you to have to keep running back and forth to my house because you weren't already prepared or equipped enough to go out there, and now you got to keep coming back, and you sure enough can't bring nobody else with you. I'm not having that. You're
Facts.
not gonna spend the night at the house. I literally tried to do that with my oldest son. Let him and his girlfriend stay here for a week, and the disrespect that comes out of youth mouths. A lot of times it's because they feel like they have a sense of entitlement. well, you my mom, and you might not have done everything that I felt like you should have done the way that I wanted you to do it. And the girlfriend looking at me like, well, he still has a lot of issues. And I had to
She's coming back. She's coming back. Somehow she's coming back. Maybe she's coming back.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there's a pause. All right. With that being said, Amazin is having some technical difficulties with her web at this moment. All right. So my response to what Sherri has said, okay, and Amazin, okay, is I agree. I agree 110% on that. Oh, there she is. She's coming back. Is she coming back? Hold up. Hold up. She's trying to fix it. All right. My issues, and she could come right behind me on it.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
there she
so
is.
sorry.
No, you good. You good. Um, no, but what I was saying was, I know you were having technical difficulties, but my thing is I agree with both of y'all. At the same time, is the fact that me personally, just me. I'm not gonna speak for all men because I'm not all men. I'm just me. And with me being said, like, is that we as men, I'm just me as me, is that I try to strive to be stronger and be the best husband and father I could be. And to do that is to get my family in better situations to where they are no longer worried about, I'm not saying being dumb and not budgeting, not at all. Not like I'm forever going to be budgeting. I'm never going to be that type of person. But to a sense where we able to take vacation time this time of the month every year. We able to make trips every 3 months. We able to just have family time and have that time together because daddy busted his ass and worked very, very hard to provide. You know what I'm saying? Not to take away from my wife, because my wife is the backbone of everything that I do, that my daughters do, that what this house is based on. Because she is more than just a mother. She's also a provider. She does things that creates paths a lot easier for me. She creates these paths, and we come together as a team to maybe I'm thinking too far ahead. Maybe I'm thinking too. I'm going a rough patch. Like I'm going the wrong, like on a hard road. Babe, try to simplize it a little bit. Try to not shortcut it, but take a few steps back. Relax. It's okay. Things are gonna be okay. She's able to calm me down when I need to be calmed down. And likewise, you know what I'm saying? She's also provides. She does those things.
Yeah.
There's no change of that. And I understand that. But what I was saying was the fact of where is the men that work and where's the hunger in men is my thing. Where's the hunger? And that's what it brought with this conversation, with this video of being the provider. As soon as I heard provider, I was like, yeah, the thirst of it, the hustle for it. There's not that many guys out there that's willing to do so because they got so used to of their other half able to provide the other half. And like Sherri
Well, I'm
said,
telling you this, and that's
but
what I was saying is
like
sorry,
that's what
that
I'm saying.
pressure's not put on men anymore.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like what Sherri said is with
It
the
has to start back in
50-50, with the 50-50, we are able now to we can live beyond we can't live beyond our means, right? Where we got to look at it as one income. Right? That's how exactly what Sherri said. We can't live beyond our means. We got to look at it like it's with one income. Well, how about we can live better than what we did last year? It's because daddy worked even harder to do it. Now, again, mommy could do the same thing. I'm not taking that away. If Tammy wants to go ahead and go work and do, that's what she wants to do. But if she says, you know what, this is not for me, she could quit. See, the thing about it is, no longer can the woman just quit. The woman has to work and bust her ass even harder because the man is covering only the 50. Now, if the man could at least cover the 75%, where it's like, babe, you could go ahead and quit because it's not working out. This is not, this is, you, it's too much time away from this where you stressing out, you hurting, your legs going numb, you having back pains, you having this, that, and the third because it's not fitting for you. Maybe we made a wrong decision somewhere in the process of picking the right job for you that you now
Right.
could quit. And we be all right if you no longer working for at least 2 or 3 months until you find something that you perfectly fit for. Again, the provider. The man's providing to go ahead and hit that 75% instead of the 50. At least 75. You
But
see
I
what I'm saying?
think my main point,
But I see your point. I see your point, Sherry.
but I think my main point more so the point of if you ever, especially, you ever see how like women handle other women? That's how
Mm.
women handle their daughters. If you ever see how a woman raises her daughter versus the way that a woman raises her son, women
Mm.
are harder naturally on their girls, which is
Mm.
why most
Right.
girls at the age of 16, 17 is ready to dip and be gone
Right.
because we done women naturally. I'm telling you
Mm.
right now, by the time a little girl reaches the age of 2 years old, and you know because you have two girls, Ariel, girls are very independent naturally.
Right.
And then on top of it, you have another woman, especially us independent women, when we're with our girls, we're teaching them, and then their example is literally the same thing. But then when we have boys, we want to, oh, baby this, and oh, baby, da 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 da. And I know
Mhm.
people that have one of each, and they handle
Mhm.
their sons all like with white gloves, and then they handle their daughters with boxing gloves. And I see it all the time. And then
Mm.
that's why roles are being reversed that way. I'm telling you, it's starting at home with
Oversensitizing.
mothers. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And this generation, that's why boys are the way that they are these days. And I
Yeah.
would say that it probably goes back to the mid 80s to 90s. That generation of men are just completely lost as to what
Mm.
they are supposed to be in a home.
It's a
80s and
dying breed.
90s? Girl, you better take that. You better take me away from that shit. No.
Maybe
Better say
I'm not,
90s.
I said the majority. In no situation ever is it everybody, and I'm not saying it's you, I'm talking about the majority though, the
Yeah.
majority. And that's why you see a lot of women in our age group and a little bit older, probably in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, a lot of women having a hard time being in a relationship. Because if you see like that generation of mothers, they coddle their sons. I'm just
Yeah.
saying that the roles have been reversed. So I'm saying homes don't run the way that they did 50 years ago.
Right.
The understanding is not the same. And
Right.
even back then, women just were in that situation because that was tradition. That's what they were told they were supposed to do. They weren't necessarily happy. Do you have any idea how many, like when women like Amelia Earhart and women like that were breaking barriers? That's why it was such a big deal, because women were told that they weren't supposed to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
We are told that we're supposed to deny that fire in our hearts of things that we want to do
Right.
for the sake of a
Excuse me.
man or for the sake of your family.
Right.
And I think you're having a hard time with this is because that's not the way that your family runs. But I'm telling you that a lot of women have a hard time with the ideal of marriage because for that reason exactly, because they feel like they're going to have to give up too big of a part of who they want to be. All of their ambitions and desires are going to be put to the side. I have a friend who is just now in her mid 30s getting her law degree. And I met her when we were 17 years old, and that's what she wanted to do back then. But she's only just now doing it because she's sacrificed it for marriage and sacrificed it for children, kids. That desire to be a lawyer never left her.
Yeah.
She just had to postpone it because she got married and had kids. You understand what I'm
I
saying?
feel you.
So it's stuff like that. And I know too many people myself included, who have gone through that, to know that that's why I don't think it's natural for a woman to give up what she wants to do in order to raise a family. Your children are going to grow up. They are not going to forever be children.
Facts.
So what's left for you for the rest of your life when your children are grown and gone? Because I
Facts.
know women like that too, who have sacrificed their whole life, and now their kids are grown and they don't know what to do with themselves, and that's why they all up in their kids' business.
Right, exactly.
Because they
Exactly.
literally have no life outside of their children. So
Agreed.
I mean, like I said, like I I just think that there's a balance. I believe in balance with everything. I'm totally the sun and the moon person. I'm that girl.
Mm-hmm.
There
That's
is
right.
balance with everything. And if you're not in a relationship that's not balanced, where both of you all are happy in your own right to things and desires that you wanted to do before you met that person, I don't think that there's anything about me right now that if I decided to get into a relationship that I should have to stop doing for your benefit. I
And
don't.
that's the
I
part
just
right
don't.
there. That's what's so important because a lot of times people are still neglecting themselves. But if we do take that time and actually understand what it is and we start walking into what it is that our purpose is before we get to that person, I feel like that's what's going to make the world of a change because when you with somebody that understands and respects your purpose, then they are going to continue to build on it and you're going to see how you can build on theirs without it feeling like it's a forced situation. It'll be organic, it'll be
Facts.
natural.
I agree.
And then if you
Right.
do have a miscommunication, you'll be able to sit down and talk about it. You'll be able to write a letter and discuss it. If you don't know how to speak that person's love language, you'll be more willing to actually understand it and then bringing kids into the situation. If it's already kids that are there, now it's trying to figure out what are our rules, our goals, what is it that we're going to teach these kids on a regular basis so that they stay in order in their mindset, that their spirit man is strong, that their physical being is willing and not being lazy, but continuously diligent. Like those are all things that we have to continue to teach. And it again, it might actually do start with the mom. It might start there. But another big part of it is not just the moms and the fathers being there, but sometimes it's the grandparents that's raising us. Sometimes it's the aunties and uncles that's raising us. So the schools too.
The
So, but
schools, yeah.
definitely. So, but if we definitely
Yeah,
take out
and
the
like
time,
my thing is like,
We gotta switch topics soon too.
okay.
okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, but to your 50-50, I don't want 50% of anything. And to piggyback on what LaShondra just said real quick, if you get the point is to be who you want to be before you get into a relationship, because then you're whole. Like that's why I said I don't want 50% of anything. If you go
Yeah.
out and you buy a whole steak, you want that whole steak. You don't want the waiter to bring half the steak, and
Right.
charge you whole price. Like, no, like I want the whole steak.
right.
So I don't think it's wise to go into anything 50-50. You need to be 100, I need to be 100%, and then that's how y'all can come together as a whole. But I just like, I don't know, that's a hard topic for me. Obviously I'm sensitive to it, but we
You
gonna
are
move on.
super sensitive.
But it's an interesting topic for sure.
I do gotta say one more thing though. I know we were talking about the finances of the 50-50 as well. So if we were looking at it and just having, even though two people are working in the household, taking that one income, setting it aside, or at least taking half of each one, and then the other half, or break it down into thirds. Like it's a way to be able to do it so that nobody's feeling like they're being deprived, and everybody is still having their needs met. But again, it's gonna come back to that communication, being open about what's being spent, who's spending it, when is it being spent, and is it being communicated before it happens?
Right.
Hmm.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
for sure.
Well, that went 45 minutes. But anyways,
I'm sorry.
I just, it was a heavy topic in hearts and stuff. But I'm good. We talked about it. I'm glad we talked about it. And again, like, I truly agree on what both of y'all are saying. I truly do. But my purpose, just my final thought, because we need to switch it, is that it's just the thirst and the hunger of men is my problem. Like it's they lose it, and it's not to blame the women at all, not at all. It's the fact that you're not striving to free your women of to be able to do whatever they choose to do. You know what I'm saying? Like to be able to, I don't know, get a maid or a babysitter to come in and be able to like watch your kids. Where when then your woman able to go to events or whatever she chooses to do, and because we have the finances to do so. It's just those things are very important where we could go out. Me and my wife could go out without having the kids around. And then when we had it's time for family time, we could do that as well. It's just the thirst and the hustle is my problem towards men. To be able to just go ahead and provide however means necessary to get your family in a better situation. That's it. So on that note, we're gonna move on. Finally. Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and go into another intermission, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about top five impact artists of all time, musically, all time. So we're going to talk about it. Our top five. So we'll be right back.